Well, good evening, everyone. It's good to be here. Yay. This is wonderful. It's good to have you here. We are so glad to welcome you to our patio Vespers. We have not done this one yet, so this is a first. You're all part of the first patio Vespers, and we're just really glad to be doing this as part of our effort to very gradually begin to reemerge out of our own homes and into our collective spaces. So we're really grateful that we can be here together and to come from all the different stories that we've had and individual journeys that we've had over these last 12 months. It was literally a year ago this week that we entered into a time of sheltering and virtual life together, and while that life has been rich, I know we are all longing to come back together. So thank you for being here. It has been, as you know, warm, and still all week. So tonight it's cold and windy, but that's just, we learned this when we were doing the parking lot Vespers, that we're gonna have Vespers, it's gonna be windy, it's gonna be cold. So it's just a thing. So we're glad that that's continuing. Some things are consistent. Because we are beginning to model what will happen when we also begin to have services together out here on the patio, we're gonna ask you to help us with a couple things so we can all learn together. One is that we're going to ask you to restrain from singing at this time because not everybody is in the situation where that's safe, and even though we're outdoors. But humming is great. So we hope to hear a nice audible hum from all of you. Clapping is also good. Rubbing your hands is also good. These also help with warmth tonight. So those are also good things to do. So we're really glad you're here, and we want to welcome you. And we are grateful to have Joe and Laura with us to do music, and Tristan and Mark and Liam helping us with our considerable tech to do this. So we are really grateful that most of all that you are here to make this actually be an event. So welcome, and let's begin with a song from Laura.
And you can, whatever you need to do to be warm. Well, I turned off my TV, threw my paper away. Well, there's some good news today. But another fire, another flood, another global power play. Our blue skies turning gray. Find myself so weary with no solution near me. The world is crying, where's the upside? It's in the sweep of a steeple spire. It's in the breath of a gospel choir. In the miracle of cells dividing. In the way we want to put an end to fighting. It's in this heart beating in my chest. I just want to say yes, say yes, say yes. Just say yes. Seems like everyone is running faster, and it's not clear just what they're after. The sound of fear is drowning out the laughter. Are we the slaves and money the master? I find myself so weary with no solution near me. The world is crying, where's the upside? It's in a morning waiting to be broken, in a kind word waiting to be spoken, in a chance so near you can taste it, in the shimmer of a reachable oasis. It's in this heart beating in my chest. Just wanna say yes, say yes, say yes. The bridge, our wounded world can be healed. We look for where the yes is revealed. It's in the flight of a flock that's turning, in desire that keeps on burning, in the rushing river's flow. It's in the bud that breaks through the snow. It's in this heart beating in our chests. I think you can say yes into your masks. Just say yes with me. Come on, say yes. Yes. I just wanna say yes. Don't you wanna? Don't you wanna? I know you wanna say yes. You can feel it. We're getting near it. Yes.
Thank you, Laura. So I want to say a special welcome to those who are not here on the patio with us, feeling a little chilly and a little weird about being together. For all of you who are in your homes watching us, we are really grateful you are here too, and we are continuing to hold you as well in our thoughts. And we are looking forward to, after this service at 6:30, we'll have a little time for everyone to check in on Zoom who wants to, so we're really glad that you're here as well. We are going to light this chalice with these words from Orlando Brignola. Flame, friend of our most ancient ancestors, we kindle you now to make you visible in our time. Yet in truth you burn always, in the unique worth of each person in the imagination, in the turning of the heart to sorrow or joy, in the call to hope, and in the call to justice. Burn bright before us. Burn bright within us. That particular candle isn't going to burn bright anywhere, so that is a metaphorical burning bright there. But it's too windy to light an actual candle, because we tried that and it didn't go well, so that's just the reality of it. I want to just welcome you and say I could really see, as appreciated Laura warming us up, literally. And as we go into our next song, I really do invite you to move, get up if you need to, just to stand a little bit if that helps you be warmer. But let's just really, truly be here and enjoy being together as we listen to this music from Joe.
And you can hum along. Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with compassion. Clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts flow restlessly, let peace find a home in me. Spirit of great mystery, hear me, still small voice in me. Help me live my wordless creed as I comfort those in need. Fill me with compassion, be the source of my intuition. Then when life is done for me, let love be my legacy.
So I invite us as we gather tonight to take a moment and truly be here. One of the things about spending as much time as we have on screens and behind glass and in other places is that sometimes it's hard to actually know that we're actually in a place anymore. So we are actually here. And I invite us to take a moment and just look around and notice things and people. You're actually here among distanced but beautiful, masked but beautiful people. And just take a moment to wave to each other, say hello. Say hello to that hawk. Laura was singing about the hawk, and the hawk came and did the turn right in the right time in the song. That was really good, Laura. I don't know how you did that. It's hard to arrange, yes. But the beauty of the spring, which is starting to come out around us. This is our week of daffodils, right next to between Doug and Diana. So just take a moment and truly bring yourself into this place. And I invite you just to, tap your legs a little bit. Just remind yourself that you are actually here in this place, because it is good to be here. And we want to take a moment and appreciate, with all that we have been through and all that we know now and all the people that we wish were here with us in this moment, we are glad that we are here, and that is a source of joy. So let's take a moment and find the joy in this moment. And now that you are more fully here, I'm going to invite you to hum, tap, clap, snap, whatever you need to do to be more fully in our next song, God of Many Names, which is a song about joy, and it is about appreciation.
God of many names, you who are nameless, we know you as love. Open our hearts to the light of your presence. Come fill us with love. God of many names, you who are nameless, we know you as truth. Open our minds to the mystery of all that is. Come fill us with truth. God of many names, you who are nameless, we know you as peace. Open our lives to the beauty of all the earth. Come fill us with peace. God of many names, you who are nameless, we know you as grace. Open our gaze to the oneness in all of life. Come fill us with grace. God of many names, you who are nameless, we know you as love.
Thank you. So I'm going to offer some words, because right now it would be hard for us to hear one another. And I'm going to offer some words in the spirit of community to just affirm all the longings of our hearts. And as I name one, I'm going to invite Joe to play and sing for us our response for this evening. And you can hum along with that. Joe, would you just give us our response?
In this circle we are held with love.
And it almost is a circle. It's kind of an oval, but it's good. So we call into our hearts today all that we are trying to grasp, all that has been and is not any longer, all that is before us that we do not quite know.
In this circle we are held with love.
Some among us today have suffered loss of people that we love, of occupations and jobs, that have given us meaning in our lives, of friendships that we have had to turn into long-distance friendships, of just day-to-day pleasures and routines that we miss and that we long to reconnect to. We celebrate that these were connections of meaning, and we also celebrate and honor tonight the longing of our hearts.
In this circle we are held with love.
In this year that has just passed, we have been invited deeply into our own lives. We have been invited deeply to know ourselves, to honor and care for ourselves. And there may be a longing in our hearts tonight that as the world begins to open, as more things come through the doors of our lives, that we keep that focus and that care for ourselves.
In this circle we are held with love.
And as we begin to see life beginning to feel more familiar rhythms and patterns, we are also filled with a sense of joy, a joy that we can once again begin to reach out and be in the company of other good people, a joy that we can be more often, more frequently in this beautiful natural world in this time of spring and generally warmer days. For all of this, we are also touching joy this evening.
In this circle we are held with love.
For all that is on our hearts tonight, the loss, the grief, the curiosity, the anxiety, the wonder, and the joy, let us take all of this into our embrace and let us all join in humming along to this response one more time.
In this circle we are held with love.
And so now I invite you to join with enthusiasm in our song, Great Spirit. And as Jo plays her song, I invite you to simply enjoy being here among the spirit of fellowship and community, and also in the spirit of this natural world.
Great Spirit, bless this place. Fill it with your love and grace. Come, Spirit, bless this place. Fill our hearts with peace. Great Spirit, bless this place. Fill it with your love and grace. Come, Spirit, bless this place. Fill our hearts with peace. Great Spirit, bless this place. Fill it with your love and grace. Come, Spirit, bless this place. Fill our hearts with peace. Great Spirit, bless this place. Fill it with your love and grace. Come, Spirit, bless this place. Fill our hearts with peace.
So I invite you to enter into the spirit of meditation. The spirit of meditation, which can include hand rubbing, sitting on your hands, moving around, whatever you need to do. Because truly, what we'd like to celebrate and reflect on this evening is our joy that we can find in the moment. So if you are feeling excitement about seeing people that you haven't seen for a long time, allow that joy to come into your heart. If you are feeling joy at just being outside, something that perhaps you have not done as much as you usually do, just enjoy this evening, which though it is chilly, it is also great and beautiful. And if you are feeling joy and just a sense of gratitude at having found the inner and outer resources to survive all that you've had to survive in this year that we have just passed through, take a moment and feel joy also at this great wonderment. There is so much to be grateful for, and we can hold that gratitude along with the grieving. We can hold that sense of excitement along with the knowledge that we need to release and accept that some things will never be exactly as they were, including this circle from whom some are gone. So let us take a moment, though, to recognize what is perhaps one of our greatest skills, one of the most important pieces of resilience, which we have discovered day after day, hour after hour, month after month as it happened, which is that we can find a measure of joy in each day, and in doing so, sustain our hearts. For all of this, we are grateful. And we're going to enter into just a few minutes of silence, but it isn't silence. There is the sound of your neighbor shifting in their chair, and aren't you glad for that neighbor? And the sound of the birds, and the sound of the wind. And there's just the great presence of all of us together. So let's just take a few moments and be aware of that, and also the presence of those who are watching us from a distance, but whose heart is also present with us tonight. Let's enter into just a few moments of silent appreciation. So I'm going to invite you to just take a moment and to think out of that appreciation and that silence and that contemplation. If there's a word that captures what you are feeling in this moment, perhaps you can offer that word out to our gathering. We won't be able to receive words from those that are watching us virtually tonight, but we'll have a chance to hear from them later in the evening. So if you have a word that you'd offer, just offer it out, and I will repeat it so everyone can hear it here and those who are watching us from a distance. Who would offer us a word of gratitude and joy tonight? Gratitude. Thank you. Calm. Resilience. Serenity. Love. Connection. Spark. Thank you. Let's take all of these gifts into our hearts. And again, just take a moment to look around at one another. We are actually not watching this on a screen. We are actually here with people, and that is a good thing, many of us. And we offer to those who are at home and watching us on a screen our great joy and hope that you will be with us in the months and weeks to come. So now we're going to invite you to hum, move, and clap along as Laura gives us one more song.
Yeah, this is a snapper clapper, y'all. An egger. It's a stormy sea of uncertain tides. It's a broken wheel on an uphill climb. Vacant lot of weeds and litter hiding the tender bloom. When life feels rough, when it's all too much, can we fill up our cup with the good stuff? Like a little bit of hope and a little bit of grit. And if you can, you might throw a little upside in it. Some love your brother, benefit of the doubt for each other. That might just be enough to help us make it through. And that's my recipe for survival stew. When that bluebird flies, leaves you downhearted. When the road winds back to where you started. When that big tall brick wall stands right in front of you. Well, maybe your soul needs a bowl of what's good for you. Like a little bit of hope and a little bit of grit. And if you can, you might throw a little upside in it. Some love your brother, benefit of the doubt for each other. It might just be enough to help us make it through. And that's my recipe for survival stew. People's tastes will vary along with the load they carry, 'cause each one has a burden all their own. And if we can start with a generous heart, you know a feast can grow from nothing but a stone. Maybe just a little bit of hope and a little bit of grit. And if you can, you might throw a little upside in it. Some love your brother, benefit of the doubt for each other. Might just be enough to help us make it through. That's my recipe for survival. All right, let's do that one more time now that you got the clapping. Maybe I'll get it too. Hope. Grit. If you can, you might throw a little upside in it. Some love your brother, benefit of the doubt for each other. Might just be enough to help us make it through. That's my recipe for survival stew.
Thank you. So there are two things that we have learned that we can't do very well when we're in virtual spaces. One is say thank you. So let's just take a moment and say thank you to Joe and Laura and Mark and everybody, and Tristan and Liam. Yes. But the other thing, the thing that I have learned the most, I think, this year is how much of community is built in those little moments between things where you just get to say hello or a moment or exchange a word. So we've actually built in enough time to do that tonight. And so we hope you will take some moments, greet one another from the right distance and all that stuff, but just say hello. We are so glad you're here. We're so glad you came. We will look forward to seeing some of you in our virtual space at 6:30, but thank you for being here, and let us continue to find joy in those little places where we can as we journey through this part of our journey together. Thank you all for being here. And now let's say hello.